Today, we're going to be discussing a highly controversial topic that has blown up poker Twitter recently. Today, we're going to discuss how to actually win at poker. Many people out there will have you think that you had to be born at the right time. You have to find the right people. You have to be lucky. You have to be ungodly lucky in order to win at poker. But I completely disagree. I have taught thousands of students to win decently large amounts at no limit Texas Hold'em using a very clearly defined strategy and system. We are going to lay that out for you today. Understand that this video is for people who actually want to win at poker. Everyone thinks they want to win at poker, but whenever they really ask themselves deep down if they actually want to win at poker, they don't. A lot of people play poker to pass the time. They just want to do something. A lot of people play poker to socialize. They want to make friends and hang out. A lot of people want to goof off and push the boundaries of the game and see if they can run savage bluffs or make huge hero folds. Some people just like giving away their money to their friends. Some people like going to the casino and supporting the casino staff. Some people like to party at a rock star sitting at their poker table, having a smidgen of wine and splashing around. And, you may play poker for many other reasons. And if that's the case, this video may not be for you. This video is for people who are serious about winning at poker, that want a clearly laid out system in order to succeed. Okay? With that in mind, let's move forward. The way you win at poker, you only got to do three things. If you've been here at this YouTube channel for a while, you've heard me say these three things many times because it really is this simple. If you're here, by the way, click the like and subscribe button below. I'd appreciate it. All right, number one, you got to find a game you can beat. Number two, you got to play it a lot. And number three, you have to keep a proper bankroll. We are going to go through each of these in depth in just a second. Understand, though, if you do these three things at all times, you will win at poker and pretty much any game. Now, you may not win at the absolute highest level, but you will be able to succeed if you maintain discipline. No luck at all is required to succeed at poker. If you are here watching this video today, you've already done the lucky part of learning how to Google poker coaching video. You did that already. Good job. If you can do that in 2023, which I think most people can, that is the luck that is required to win. From there, you made it to the video, you are here. Now you have to have maximum discipline. No luck is required, but discipline is. And we live in a world in 2023 where some people want to have a very, very healthy work-life balance. They want to work 32 hours a week. They want to goof off. They want to have nights and weekends off. They want to take it easy. That was never me. I am a working person. I enjoy working. I live for the work week. I don't live for the weekends. I live for the work. Monday morning, I wake up, I'm ready to go. Ready to grind. And I realize that that is not the mindset a lot of people have. But if you want to ensure success at anything, an excellent way to ensure success is to outwork everyone else in the industry, especially in a thoughtful, intelligent way. And fortunately for you, I already have intelligent ways clearly laid out. So let's go through and discuss these three things. But first, what is discipline? Discipline has a million definitions on the internet. To me, Jonathan Little, discipline is being able to behave and work in a controlled way that involves following specific rules and standards. So what does that mean? That means you gotta do what you need to do in order to succeed. Obviously, within the rules of the game and ethics and all of that. You need to be a good person, don't be shady, not saying cheat people. What I'm saying is, you need to do what is required to win. You need to find a game you can beat, play it a lot, and keep a proper bankroll. But most people do not want to do all three things. If you do not do all three things, you probably will not win. Simple as that. You're not going to win at any game if you don't do those three things. But you will win at most games if you do those three things. So, you also want to make sure that your goal is clearly defined. Do you want to win a little bit of money and never move up in stakes? If so, that's not hard at all. Believe it or not, if you want to play small stakes games, win $20 an hour, and never move up, that is easily achievable. Now, if you want to be someone who's winning $1 million per year playing poker and you want to play the highest stakes games, you're really going to have to devote your life to poker. You're going to have to work a ton. And if you ask almost any world-class poker player today at the very top of the game, they have had at least some period in their life where all they did was play poker. For me, I had, 6 or 7 years of my life when I was 18 to like 25, where I played poker or studied poker something like 300 hours a month, every single month. That may sound crazy to people. Yeah, it means I didn't do a whole lot else. And that made me very good at poker. Who'd have thought? Do you have the discipline to do the work that is required? You need to ask yourself, honestly. I realize a lot of people are not in a situation to put in 300 hours a month playing and studying poker. So you ease into it. Back whenever I first started getting into poker, I was working at an airport 40 hours a week. Sometimes more. I liked overtime pay. Also, I was going to college, more than a full college plate. And I had another job working at a comic book store on the side. And I still found time to study poker about 40 hours per month. Not a ton, but it's some. It got me started. It got me to the point where I could beat the small stakes games. And from there, that allowed me to make more money than my job. I could get rid of the job because I was making more money at poker from the job. Then eventually, it made sense to quit school and all the other jobs, right? All the other stuff going on. And then that allowed me to fully focus on poker. Now, I do realize that I, Jonathan Little, was born at a very lucky time. Back in 2003, poker was incredibly soft. And a lot of people want to cite that as the reason that people roughly my age have been highly successful at poker, because we essentially started with a giant head start, which is true. But people are starting poker literally today who are going to succeed massively in the game. And to be fair, you do need to have realistic expectations. I'm not saying you're going to make $500 per hour playing poker, but most people can win $20 or $30 per hour playing poker. I realize that's not get rich money, but it is consistent money that will at least let you enjoy poker and have fun playing poker. A lot of people who study hard and work hard, they can make $50 or $100 per hour playing poker pretty reasonably. Now, that doesn't mean every person in the world can make $50 or $100 per hour playing poker, because poker is a negative sum game. The casino takes rake, right? And whenever I lose, somebody else is winning. Whenever I win, somebody else is losing, right? So I'm not saying everyone in the world can win, but I'm saying the people who are here today watching this video in 2023, if they do the 3 things required to win, they will succeed, especially if they keep their expectations grounded and in reality. So you got to do what is required to win. And you have to not become distracted from your goal of actually doing the things required to win. A lot of people do the things required to win for a short period of time. Then they get distracted. Something else comes along. Some other shiny object. Like, oh, I want to go do this over here. And then they go over here. And then they do that. And they forget about what they're supposed to be doing. Back when I used to grind 5, 10, and 10, 20 to limit at Bellagio all the time, I would be the only person playing high stakes cash games on Saturday night at about 2 a.m. Everybody else was out partying. I don't know why. But the culture back then, for most people, most professional poker players, was to go partying on the weekends in Vegas. I sat there and made a ton of money on Saturday nights. I didn't get out and go partying, and maybe I missed out on a lot of fun. But my goal was not to have fun. My goal was to win money and become a great poker player. So if that's you, let's move forward. And if it's not you, cool. Be happy with that and realize it. All right. You got to have the discipline. 2, number 1, find a game you can beat. You may say, how does that require discipline? Well, you need to either play with really bad players, who anyone can beat, or you need to be highly skilled at poker such that you are better than the opponents you choose to play with. A great thing about poker is you actually get to pick your opponents, which is pretty cool. Now you may say, I play tournaments, I don't get to pick my opponents. Not your particular opponents, but you do get to pick the buy-in that you play, and as you play higher and higher buy-ins, typically your opponents are tougher and tougher. Also, you can very often predict if a tournament in general is going to be overly soft or overly difficult. For example, one time I went to Los Angeles to play a major poker tournament there, a $10,000 tournament. I knew it was going to be soft. It's going to have like 1,000 people. Fine, good. It's going to be a great tournament. I arrived the day before to play a $5,000 buy-in tournament. I thought it was going to be great too. But there were about 60 people registered, and they were almost all pros. So I have a $5,000 game, almost all pros. I mean, like 57 out of 60 were pros. Should I, Jonathan Little, a strong poker player, play that tournament? And the answer is obviously not, because there's no edge to extract. So, did I play the game just to get experience and to pass time? certainly not to pass time. And, maybe I could have played it to get experience, but I would rather go downstairs play cash games. And who'd have thought the 2550 game was super duper soft and I cleaned up. And by realizing I'm here not to play, I'm here to extract value, that allowed me to make a better decision in terms of making money, which when you're in the bankroll building phase of your career, like a lot of you probably are, your goal really should be to make money. So you need to make sure you play with players who are worse than you. And you do this by either just finding bad players or by getting better than your opponents. Today, in 2023, small stakes live cash games and tournaments are easily beatable. It does not take a whole lot of work and effort. Believe it or not, I know a lot of people want to try to make you think that poker's tough. And it's very difficult, and it's impossible to win. But it is not. It is not. It is not. And I don't know what to tell you beyond I've taught many, many thousands of people to succeed at small stakes games without them even doing all that much work, at least in my opinion. Fine. Trust me or don't. I also think middle stakes live games are especially beatable too in 2023. I have a bunch of students out there right now today crushing 5-10 no limit and $1,000 buy-in tournaments. And they're doing great, which is good. It's exactly what I'm going for. They're making $100 per hour playing poker, which is pretty good money, especially if they do like I used to do, and they play 300 hours per month. You can do the math. $100 per hour, $300 per month is $30,000 per year. Not per year, per month. $360,000 per year. It's a pretty good income for most people. Good for them. I'm happy for them. Now, you may say, everyone can't do that. No, everyone cannot do that, because if everyone in the world did that, obviously the game would die. But the people here watching today, not all of you will be able to beat 5-10 no limit. That does take takes a massive amount of skill and discipline and work. But if you really do truly devote yourself to the game and you study the resources that I have put forth for you, you have a really good shot. And you probably will be able to beat 1-2 no limit. Not financial advice. No claims are 100% certain, etc., etc. We're all adults here. Be reasonable. Understand, at pokercoaching.com, I've laid out clear, easy-to-follow frameworks to help you win at poker. We have 40-hour-long courses, 2 of them, one on cash games, one on tournaments, that teach you literally everything you need to know to beat the small stakes games and to get you very started at the middle stakes and higher. We also have tons of advanced content. Some people say, Jonathan Lilla makes beginner poker content. They watch a popular YouTube video that a lot of beginning poker players like. We have cutting-edge stuff at pokercoaching.com because I hire the best players in the world to teach you, but also to teach me. I'm always working hard to improve my skills too. Understand that to find a game you can beat, especially at the medium and high stakes, you must study. I realize there are a few poker savants out there that look like they don't study. They play an abnormal strategy. And people like to cite them whenever you say, you have to study and learn how to play good, strong, fundamentally sound strategies. They'll say, oh, such and such doesn't do that, and they win. Therefore, learning to play well is bogus. You just got to get in there and battle. And understand there are always going to be outliers in any activity. It's not me, and it's probably not you. I am laying out the framework to ensure you succeed with no luck required, okay? I was not blessed to be a naturally good card player. I was actually really bad at poker when I first started, and I lost almost every time. So keep that in mind. I was a losing poker player naturally, but I'm really good at studying, and I'm really good at sitting down and doing the work. I have the discipline to do what is required to win. Okay, find a game you can beat, and if you can't beat the game, don't play it. You got to have a little discipline, right? If you don't have an edge, don't play. Not rocket science here. Next, you got to play it a lot. Volume cures variance. Volume means putting in lots of time actually playing lots of games, playing lots of hands, right? Understand that you will experience huge upswings and huge downswings, especially in games that have a lot of variance. I, Jonathan Little, in the peak of my career where I'm winning all these trophies back here, had 2 40 buy-in downswings in tournaments. Not 4, not 14. 14? 4-0. 2. You may say, oh my God, you must be terrible at poker. To be fair, I was playing a high variance strategy, and maybe I was not playing especially well. Who knows? I was very lucky on the end of both of those to win $1 million, so that was good. But it happens. If you play thousands and thousands and thousands of poker tournaments, you are going to go on really bad swings. It's going to happen. You're also going to go on insane upswings. 2 times in my career that I can recall off the top of my head in live poker. I've chopped tournaments or won them back to back 2 times. I've taken first and or chopped back to back. Online, I won a 10,000 person poker tournament one time, the size of the main event. I've also busted on the first hand of tournaments multiple times, playing, in my mind, well. It happens. You're going to have swings. Understand, though, that short-term results, short-term swings are essentially irrelevant. So do not worry about them at all. So many people want to try to talk about how they're unlucky right now or they're running bad or whatever. None of it matters. Stop being a baby and understand variance. Now, I will say that maybe I am lucky. Again, a lot of people like to say, oh, you're just lucky. I've been lucky to have put in countless hours playing poker, both live and online. And I've experienced amazing upswings better than most people can comprehend. And I have experienced way worse downswings than most people can comprehend. So I've kind of seen it all. And once you've seen it all, you realize it's just normal, par for the course. And if something is normal, you should not get overly excited or depressed or mad or whatever whenever something that is normal occurs. And in games with lots of variance, almost everything is normal. A lot of people, especially in the social media space, like to sensationalize things. And they like to get excited, and they like to get tilted, and they like to get mad, and all of that. And you got to realize, this is just normal stuff. Going on the big downswing is normal. It happens if you play a lot, and you run simulations of what could happen in games. You will see. Sometimes you're going a big downswing. There's a poker variance calculator called pokerdope.com. I think they actually changed their name. Pokerdope.com will still take you there. They have variance calculators for tournaments and cash games that are pretty good. And you can see standard swings. So check it out. Also, you should strongly consider playing games that let you put in a lot of volume especially when you are starting out, because that's going to allow you very quickly to figure out if you actually have an edge. Remember, you got to find a game you can beat. You need to have an edge. You need to play it a lot. You need to keep a proper bankroll, but you need to be sure you have an edge. A lot of people think they have an edge, but they don't. And if you play a game where you don't have an edge and you play it a lot, you're going to lose your bankroll. Okay? So I started off playing Limit Hold'em a long time ago. I would not recommend Limit Hold'em to anyone today. The game is well antiquated. I'm sure the Limit Hold'em fans out there are going to click unfollow and click the down button. Don't do it. Don't do it. I try to lead people to games that I think have a future. And I do think No Limit Hold'em has a future in 2023. Limit Hold'em's been on a decline for forever. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. Okay. Limit Hold'em was a game that I could easily play like 8 tables at a time a long time ago when I was 18 years old. And when you're playing 8 tables at a time, and let's say you play 40 hands per table, oh my gosh, I can't even do the math. I'm not even going to try to do the math. It's a lot of hands per hour. 320, is that right? Who knows? It's a lot of hands per hour. I don't even know, I'm not even going to try. It's a lot of hands per hour, and it's a lot of hands per day. Let's just pretend it's 1,000 hands per day, okay? Let's just pretend. I know back whenever I used to grind Zoom poker, the speed poker, I would play about 5,000 hands per day easily. Compare that to live poker. In live poker, you may play 30 hands per hour, and if you play, let's say you only do 10 hours per day because you're slacking a little bit. If you only do 10 hours per day, that's 300 hands per day. So if I can play 1,000 hands just 8 tabling for a short amount of time, or I can play 5,000 hands grinding it out for a day online, you got to realize that 300 hands is not a lot, right? And whenever you're playing a relatively small number of hands, you're essentially not putting in volume. You're putting in time, but you're not putting in volume. You're putting in as much volume as you easily can in live poker, but understand, you don't have to play a live poker. You get to choose which game you play. So if you want to clearly know if you have an edge, play a game where you can put in a lot of volume, because as you play more and more hands, or more and more tournaments, you will inevitably see if you're winning or losing. As you play more volume, your results become more and more accurate, more and more close to whatever the average would normally be. So you got to play a lot. You really do have to play a lot. If you play 1 tournament per weekend, yeah, you're going to feel the full brunt of variance, because tournaments have a lot of variance, and, well, you're not playing very much, right? A lot of live poker players especially seem to think that luck matters a lot. And to be fair, in things like live poker tournaments, luck does matter a decent amount in the short run. But again, what is the short run? A lot of people get mad whenever they have a losing year in live poker. I've had multiple losing years in live tournaments. If you're playing tournaments where you don't have a huge edge because your opponents are all pretty good, if you're playing high stakes, and you're not playing all that many tournaments, maybe you play, 200 tournaments per year. I mean, go to the pokerdope.com site and you will see that you're probably going to lose, 50, 60, 70% of the time. When you win, you're going to win a ton. But when you lose, you're usually going to lose a little bit. And if you're not cool with that, maybe poker's not for you. The thing is a lot of people are not able to zoom out and see the long term. They see what happened yesterday and what I'm doing right now. They don't see how things have gone long term. And you have to take a long-term mindset, especially if you're playing a game that has a lot of variance. If you don't have that, you really, really, really need to get it. It is vitally important. But what I, as a kid, when I was 18, really wanted to do, and what I did do, is I wanted to find a game I could beat. I was very cautious moving up initially because I wanted to be sure I had some foundation I could fall back on in case I moved up and I failed. Because I didn't know if I was good at poker. Like I said, I was bad when I started. So I did not know if I was good. So how do you learn to know if you're good? Well, you play a lot. You play a lot, and then you prove a win rate at a specific level. Then you move up. Because presumably you want a bunch of money to where you are bankrolled for the next game. You move up, and you do it there again. You play a ton. And you do it at the next highest level, and you do it a ton. Right? A lot of people don't want to put in the ton of hands and tournaments required to actually prove that they are winning at a particular stake. They just want to gamble and get rich quick. Poker may seem like an excellent way to get rich quick. Every year, there's some phenom who hops into the poker circuit and just starts winning every tournament. People think, oh my gosh, I can do that too. And look, there's a lot of variance. There's a lot of variance. I mean, look, if you look at any person who wins Player of the Year, myself included, when I won Player of the Year a long time ago, they ran ungodly hot that year. And if you look at their careers, they've also had periods of time where they have ran quite poorly, myself included. And that's normal. Every year, someone's going to be the luckiest player among all decently strong, good poker players. And that person's going to have a great year. And someone who's a good, strong poker player is going to have a really, really bad year. They're going to get it all in with 52 people left in the tournament for 5 times average, and they're going to lose every single time. Because they're only doing it 5 times, right? And they're going to have a really bad year. That's just how it goes. To make things even more difficult, back whenever I was grinding tournaments a ton, I would win about 2.5 tournaments every year. Some years, I would win the highest buy-in games I'd play, and I'd have an amazing year. Other years, though, I'd win the smallest buy-in tournaments I would play. I remember one year I won 2 $500 buy-in tournaments when my average buy-in was $6,000. So I was winning these $500 tournaments for a lot of buy-ins, $50K, $100K, right? But then I'd be losing it all in $10,000 and $25,000 buying games. And look, I kind of got unlucky, let's say, to win the smaller buying games. Other years, I would just break every single $500 game, but win all the 10Ks, right? It happens. It's variance. Get used to it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Final point. Keep a proper bankroll. No one wants to do this because everyone wants to try to get rich quick. I was very lucky in that I came from a relatively frugal household where money was a scarce commodity, right? We did not have money to spend. Therefore, that taught me to be really, 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 really nitty, really tight, really cautious with my bankroll. And I am sure that I gave up a decent amount of upside potential in exchange for ensuring I never went broke. I know a lot of old school poker players really like to wear it as a badge of honor that they went broke or they almost went broke, but they came back. They want to have the sensational story. They want to have the gambler story. I was down, but I came back, and now I'm the champion. A lot of people get down, and they don't come back. I didn't want to get down and not come back. I wanted to have a good, long, fruitful career. So I always kept a humongously large bankroll. Back when I was playing $200 buy-in sit and goes, I probably needed $60,000 to play the game. I kept about $300,000 liquid for that. An insanely large amount. Too much. I should have been moving up. But I really, 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 really did not want to go broke. That would be a disaster in my mind. And I was probably over the top with it. But as you keep a larger and larger and larger and larger bankroll, it gives you many more options in terms of potential things you can go and play and things you can do with your money. And also, if you do go on a bad swing, it won't wipe you out. As you have a larger bankroll, essentially your risk of ruin goes down. Your risk of losing all your money goes down. So back when I was playing sit and goes, people thought you needed 100 buy-ins to play the game. So I was playing $200 games. Maybe you need $20,000. I thought that was insane because I'd already been on big downswings and big upswings, right? And I always kept, like I said, a ton, but I thought like 300 was the minimum. It turns out 300 for my return on investment was about right. But a lot of people kept the 100 that people just threw out. You need 100. Why do you need 100? So silly arbitrary number. And a lot of them went broke because they didn't keep a proper bankroll. They thought they were, but they weren't. But variants exist. I have lots of bankroll recommendations laid out at pokercoaching.com/bankroll. Go read that. Understand a few very important points here. As your edge decreases, as you are not beating the game for all that much, you need more buy-ins. Go back to our equation. Find a game you can beat. If you're barely beating the game, you're going to need to compensate by having a bigger bankroll. Also, as the variance of the game increases, you're going to need more buy-ins. You're going to need way more buy-ins for poker tournaments compared to cash games. Because in cash games, you're going to win something like 50% of the time, or 60 or 70% of the time. In tournaments, you're going to cash, which isn't even that big of a win, like 15 or 20% of the time, right? So you're usually going to lose in tournaments. So if you look at a cash game player's graph, it usually just trickles up. It goes trickle, 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 trickle all the way up. Nice and easy, trickle up. A tournament player's graph goes trickle down, 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 spike when they win. Down, 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 spike when they win. Sometimes you don't have wins all that often. So it may go down, 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 spike, assuming you sit there and continue playing well. A lot of people, though, don't have the discipline to continue playing well when they're down, 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 and then finally they get a spike, right? You have to make sure you have the discipline to do what is required to succeed. If you regularly play 1,000-person poker tournaments, you may need 300 buy-ins or more, assuming you have a decently big edge. And if you have almost no edge, because you're actually not playing a game you can beat, you need a humongous bankroll. That said, if you play super soft cash games, like live 1-2 no limit hold'em, you may not actually need all that many buy-ins, because your edge can be gigantic. If your edge is gigantic, you don't really need that much money because you just won't have that many bad downswings. That's how it goes. Anyway, check out pokercoaching.com/bankroll for that. So that's it. That's how you win at poker. No luck required. Find a game you can beat, play it a lot, and keep a proper bankroll. You do these 3 things and you will win. Simple as that. I cannot make you do all these three of these things, but this is what it is. This is how you do it. I have had multiple students listen to what I'm telling them here. They do exactly this. They follow the content I have laid out very clearly for them. I have the framework laid out for you at pokercoaching.com. And it's there. You just got to do it. You have to have the discipline. A lot of people do not want to put in the time and the effort required to actually find a game they can beat by improving their poker skills and getting good. A lot of people do not want to play as much as they could. They want to take it easy and have parties. And a lot of people want to get rich quick and they don't want to keep a proper bankroll. And that results in all of them failing. If you do all 3, you'll win. And if you don't, well, you're gambling. That's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, click the like and subscribe button below. If you have a friend who thinks poker is all luck, send them this video. Good luck. Have fun. I wish you the best. All I want is for all the students here to win. If you found this video today, you can use Google. And if you made it right here today, I know that you want to win. And you have to devote to yourself that you're actually going to do the things required to win. If you have any questions, type them in the comments section. I read every single comment that comes through here. Good luck. Have fun. I wish you the best. Thank you for being here. And I'll talk to you next time.